Is Parliament then the weakest link when it comes to the implementation of Katiba, as it were?
I think the Parliament needs to improve. Let's first give Commissioner Isaac Ruto his flowers. When he's still alive, I mean, he was a champion of devolution when you chaired the COG, and I don't think we have seen as strong a voice as we had then. And a number of times he had fights with the national institutions, including Parliament. And I think the Parliament still needs to do quite a bit to improve on serving, the devolved governance systems. But then, what I would say is that even with the current provision, we should be able to do more, because I think the provision talks about a minimum of 15%. So it's therefore possible that if we had a goodwill as a country, we could take more to the counties. But even as we do that, there are certain questions that we should then ask ourselves. That is the formula right? And would it serve the country properly? I'm asking this, for instance, that if we are to use this formula, and Commissioner Isaac Ruto, having experience, could probably talk to us about this, is that I was just looking at, statistics on the inequalities in the country in 2013, when devolution was coming in. And when you had a president who was being celebrated of having transformed the country. And I was comparing, Central Province and my province, that is Nyanza Province. And it says, this was a report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and so supported by the Society for International Development. It's called Pulling Apart Report. And the report says that electricity penetration access, Central Kenya, 19.2% of the population had electricity access, only 5.1% in Nyanza had. Then piped water, Central Province, 11.8% of the people had access to water, while it's only 0.6% of the people of Nyanza had access to water. Then secondary school enrollment, Central Province had 37.7% of the people had enrolled in secondary school, while Nyanza had only 23.5%. Birth in health facilities, 67% of the children in Central Province were born in hospitals, while only 36.2% in Nyanza were born in hospital. And this is sad. Infant mortality, Central Province, 44% of the children, 44 per 1,000 of children died at birth. In Nyanza, it was 133 children died at per 1,000 died at birth. And then under 5 mortality, Central Province had only 54. Nyanza had 206 per 1,000. And then child vaccination in Central, 79% of children had access to vaccination and were vaccinated. Only 38% were vaccinated in Nyanza. Life expectancy. Central Province had a life expectancy of 63.7 years. Nyanza had only 47.7 years. The question then that I ask, this pricked me when people were talking about 1 shilling, 1 vote, that if does the current formula allow us to correct the inequalities? Okay, because this is inequality. It means that any child born in Central Province by 2013 lived 16 years more than a child born in Nyanza. And it is not because the children who are born in Nyanza, God decided that they die earlier. It is because Central Province for 60 years had better infrastructure built for them in terms of roads for women reaching hospital, for labor. They had more hospital facilities and better facilities. They had better schools. They had, better electricity penetration, so that, investors in industrialization could make an easy choice to go to Central Province and not to come to my town of Kisumu. The question is, does the current formula allow us to bridge that gap? Is it possible that under the current discussion on Vision 2060, we can actually have a honest discussion on how to bridge the regional inequalities, even as we sort out the governance issues in our own counties, to ensure that we do not transfer the problem that we have faced for 60 years as a nation to our local environment.
I do agree that these are the conversations that we need to have. This one was a short one because of time, obviously. But at this point, we have to let both of you gentlemen go. But we want to thank you for joining us